Fight coming up soon, sir.
Yeah, man.
You must be itching, man. It's been a while.
Listen, man, I can't tell you how excited and happy I feel, man. This time last year, you know, I was in the same position. Unfortunately, I suffered an injury and a little minor setback, but I'm back now. I think I'm back now, better, more patient, smarter, you know, a bit, you know.
You said you had an injury. What was it? What happened?
Oh, I was training. I was 3 weeks out from my pro debut last year. And I was training, there was a little bit of loose canvas in the ring, and I just, you know, just barely tripped over it and tore my knee badly. I had some surgery to correct it and stuff.
When you say tore ligaments?
No, meniscus.
Right, okay. So, I mean, the operation, what is that?
I had operation. There's 2 little holes in the knee,
okay,
and they cut some out. About that much. They cut the cartilage out and shaped it up nicely. You know, within 4.5 weeks, I was back at training, doing little bits and pieces, swimming. You know, cause that's the only sort of cardio I could do was swimming and cycling. So, you know, now I can run and whatever. So, it's great stuff, man.
And you was meant to have your pro debut last year, wasn't you?
Yeah, last year.
So that kind of scuppered that.
I know, it's a big setback. I'd have probably got 5-6 fights by now.
Is that the plan for this year, really?
Oh, the plan for this year, I think the team and I both agree on maybe every 6 to 8 weeks, if we can get that, you know. Okay. That'll be ideal for us.
For those who don't know about you, Dillian, I mean, tell us a little bit about how you get into the fight game and why it is you've gone from a career in kickboxing, MMA, to putting on the gloves and just doing it old school.
Well, as a kid, I've always loved fighting. Growing up, I've always loved fighting. I had like tons and tons of fight growing up, and then, you know, I got into a bit of trouble when I was 16. And, you know, like, while I was in trouble, you know, I had some serious talk with my mom and other people, you know, and I just, once the trouble was all over, I just said to myself, you know what, I need to sort myself out. And basically, I got taken to the gym by a friend to introduce me to my kickboxing trainer, Julian. And, you know, I went and watched them spar and train, and I thought, wow, this is amazing. You know, like this time these guys was pro, they was punching and kicking and knees, and I thought, wow, this is actually amazing. You know, I spoke to him, I said to him, yeah, I like what you let do. And he says, well, come down and give it a go. And, you know, then I was young and naive, so I was like, yeah, man, I'll come down, I want to spar. And he said, listen, don't worry about this, come and train. I was like, no, but I want to spar, I want to do what you let do. And he was like, listen, a lot of time we get people saying this and that and that. They come here and they get hurt, whatever. They come here and they do this and they don't come back. And I said, no, man, I'll be here. I went there, I sparred. I got beaten up. You know, I stood there. I took it for an hour and a half. Went home, I was sore. I came back the next day. I got beaten up again. I come back the next day, and, you know, and so on and so forth. And I said to myself, as the guys that beat me up, I said, you know what, the day will come when I'll get my own back. Within 4 or 5 months, I had my first fight after 3 months. I fought a guy that had 9 fights. Within 4, 5, 6 months, the guys that were beating me up, I got my own back in them. You know, like I was teeing back off on them. And after a trainer said to me, you know what, you're quite, you know, there's potential there. If you're willing to train or whatever, we can do this properly. And, you know, me being young, loving the fight game, I said, you know what, so be it.
It sounds like you're a quick learner.
Well, I try and listen. And pick things up, you know. Like I said, I like fighting. To me, I enjoy it. You know, enjoy it. So if something interests me, then I'll just put my attention towards it, you know. And I spar with good people. I've got good trainers, good people around me. So, you know, once you have that, the only way you can go is up. You can't really go down, you know what I mean, unless you're lazy, and I'm not lazy, so.
Serious question. I mean, you turned your back on the other fighting disciplines, the other martial arts. Is it purely because the money's not in those games? Well,
that's partly to do with it, but partly, I was ranked #1 in the country for a long time. Yeah. I wasn't getting, like, I was fighting the same people over and over again. I was getting away and fighting and stuff. You know, I wasn't getting looked after properly. I weren't getting paid properly. The training here, there wasn't that level, you know. When I went away and trained away, I see the way the other guys was training and stuff, and, you know, to them it was a way of life. To us here, it's just like, oh, you know, I'm #1, I'm doing a bit of kickboxing, whatever. It's not really, you know, those guys away, they don't work or anything. If they're doing kickboxing, that's what they're doing. Here, you know, you got to finish training, rush to work, rush to this, deal with family, deal with that. So, you know, it's a bit, you know, so I thought, and then to be honest, I looked around, that the kickboxing heavyweight scene was a bit more, not more dangerous, a bit more hectic than the boxing scene, and it's a good time now to, you know, so me and my team, we sat down and we thought about it, and we thought, yeah, you know what, you got this, you got ability, all we got to do is build up on your skills, and, you know, we both come to the same conclusion that we can be where David is at in the next 7 years or so, you know.
You mentioned David, I know you've sparred with him, you've sparred with some pretty big names already.
Yeah, I've sparred with basically everyone.
What experiences have you picked up along the way, having been in the ring with
each person I spar with, I always pick something up, you know. I spar with David, you know, pick a bit of movement up and a bit of I see how he operates, I see, you know, because when you're sparring someone at that level, you're going to think of, how can I counter this person, how can I outsmart him or whatever, so without even noticing it, you're getting more clued up and a bit more, you know, you just get experience, man.
You mentioned David Hay and where he is. His career's coming to an end, pretty much, which kind of leaves the way clear for you to do your thing. The heavyweight scene in this country suffers from a dearth in talent, a lot of people would say. Are you going to fill the void?
Well, you know, I'm not going to be those guys that give it all the big talk early, but, you know, I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to go and, you know, every fight I have or whatever, I'm going to train for it. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do my thing.
And that's it, simple as that.
Yeah, it's simple. You know, I'm not going to say, yeah, I'm going to be next Muhammad Ali and all of that rubbish. I'm just going to go and do my thing, you know.
Yeah, I know you're inspired by some of the early day boxers.
Yeah.
And I know you kind of, who out of, you know, those generations would you say you
know what, there's a lot of fighters,
Give me a top three then.
Ali, Kenny Norton, George Foreman, and Joe Frazier.
Kenny Norton, not a lot of people mention Kenny.
Well, you know,
what was it about him?
Kenny he had heart, man. He was a tough guy. He wasn't, you know, he lost to Larry Holmes and people. He wasn't as skillful as them, but, you know, he gave all of them a good fight. You know, he stood up there, he done his thing, and all the people he's lost to is top people.
He decided not to pursue the route of an amateur. 2012 around the corner, a lot of people would have looked at that as a carrot.
Wow, the amateur game, the amateur thing, there's a big story behind it. It's not that I didn't decide to pursue it. You know, they started giving me a lot of stick. So, you know, I never had a choice really. They kept on messing me about.
The amateur board, the BA.
Yeah, they kept on messing me about, saying, oh, you did kickboxing before, this and that, which is nonsense really, because a lot of people does kickboxing and other martial arts or whatever and still come to boxing and doesn't do well. E.g. Matt Skelton, Pele Reed, and those people, they all come from kickboxing, and they are, you know, they never give them the stick. But what it is, you know, I came on the scene, you know, I won some fights I shouldn't have won. You know, I beat Andrew Joshua, the current ABA champion, and I think he will be this year's ABA champion again. You know, I beat him on my first boxing fight, whatever. You know, so I think I come on the scene and I sort of maybe upset, I don't know, you know, I'm just saying maybe I sort of upset their plans or whatever, so I think they thought, you know, this geezer, you know, it can be a problem for us.
You've been denied opportunity then, effectively. I mean, I don't want to harp on about it, but you could have, you know, been in a position
I could have been last year's ABA champion and on my way to being this year's ABA champion. Not even could have, I would have been, you know, because when I fought the ABA champion, you already had fights. That was my first fight, I beat him. And from that fight, I've got better and better and better and better. The time when me and him was meant to meet, I was training so hard, like, I was in the best shape I've ever been in my life. You know, then after they took my card away 3 days before the fight. Why? You know, they took my card away a couple weeks before, they give it back to me. Then after the matchups was made, and they took it back 3 days before, and I thought, you know, I can't be doing this. I can't be training for fights and they're saying to me, blah, 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 blah. Then after, you know, speak to a few people, speak to my team, whatever. And, you know, even David A's trainer himself say to me, if your face don't fit, it's not going to happen.
Bit of a shame.
You know what I mean?
Suppose, yeah.
So I just said, you know what? It's better I just turn professional and just learn while I'm going through, you know?
Every 6 to 8 weeks, probably be 8 to 12, if you're lucky. But if it goes how you want it to over the next 3 years, where would you be? Any belts around your waist?
Well, in the next 2 years, we should be, if things are going to plan, I'm not making any big talk, however, we should be British champion at least. you know, possibly British and Commonwealth. Who knows? Maybe things might go well. We might be European champion. Who knows?
Do you think, I mean, just away from that question for a minute, do you think the reason that there are no serious heavyweights out there, apart from maybe, you know, David Hay, and no disrespect to the boxers that do their thing, but I mean, in terms of those that can go on to challenge for world honours, world belts, in this country, do you think the situation that's occurring at the ABA level has got something to do with that?
Well, nah, I don't think so. No. I think there's a lot of boxers around that's coming up now.
Give me a couple.
Well, David Price, Derek Cesara, Tom Dallas. You know, there's few people that is in the line for good things, and if they keep going the way they're going, then, you know, who knows, man.
So you see yourself in the ring against either of those? You
know, as heavyweight, it's only a matter of time before, you know, if I have 10 fights in the next 18 months, then it puts me in line to, you know, to fight any one of them, really.
I guess my last question is, time is everything. So.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just patient, listen to my team, do what they say, let them run the show. I'll just train, you know, like, I love training. You know, all I do is go to train and try and stay out of trouble and keep my head down and just hope and pray things go according to plan, man, and just keep doing what I'm doing.
Thanks for your time, Dillian Whyte.
No worries, bro.
When's your first fight?
May 13th. And
where can people buy tickets and stuff?
Well, tickets are available from Fighters Inc., from me, myself, and the venue is Gillingham, Kent.
Gillingham, Kent.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks for your time.
No worries, mate.